believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadakuddin and I have had disagreement, but his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good, but I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Master Covenant, Breaker 7 Seals. You notice he says, our nation. I thought he probably represented the Nation of Islam. Nation. That's what he really represents, America. He really represents America. Understand? A second, boss. It's a little technical issue here. That I've been telling you. He represents America. He just said it. Our nation. Well, how can he say that? He claims he represents the Nation of Islam. So I explained to you, he doesn't represent the Nation of Islam. There's no way I give anybody $5,000 to prove he does. Because he does represent Elijah Muhammad's teachings, he does represent Master Muhammad's teachings. All you got to do is look at what Elijah Muhammad says, and look at Master Muhammad's teachings, lessons are, and he rejects all of it. All of it. They use their name as bait, because that's his job. His job is to take and snuff out any light that Elijah Muhammad that might be left of Elijah Muhammad. Snuff it out. And who would have it? The people that was associated, right, with Elijah Muhammad. So he used their name bait to draw them in. But once you get in there, you get Scientology. You don't get any of Elijah Muhammad's teaching. You don't get none of the Master Muhammad's teachings. Because the baseline of Elijah Muhammad's teaching, Master Muhammad's teaching, is that they're the devils, and we must leave here separate. Bottom line, he rejects all of it. We're not going anywhere, and they're not devils. He doesn't mean just being polite. No, he means they're not devils because he got them kissing on them. Plus, his father's a devil. So the people that's with him, right? They're demons or idiots or agents. So we disregard them. Because there's nowhere in the world you can be following that dog there if you're a true believer in Elijah Muhammad. If you're a true believer in Elijah Muhammad, then you follow Exodus and you follow Malachi, which said you'll be seeking a messenger of the covenant, who is the one who's going to deliver you. Elijah Muhammad prepared the way for it, take you home. Because it says right there, it's two messengers. They say Elijah's the last one. It says two messengers. White What you think messenger of the covenant means? Messenger of the covenant, is that spelled wrong? There's two messengers there. So who's that second messenger that Elijah prepares the way for? This stuff is very clear and simple, brothers and sisters. It's not complicated. So therefore, if people are confused, see, it's not the people that has not associated with this, the people that associate with supporting him, right? If they can't read, see, because they're not there because of religion. They would follow the religion texts. They're not there but they follow him, they like him, they listen to him, or they just plain demons. That's what it is. Because it says in Thessalonians that they have no love for the truth. That means they have no love for Scripture. They're following him. They're following the son of perdition. And so God gave them great delusions. Let them do all kinds of man, all that kind of stuff to keep them. And why? Why would God do that? Because he wants to make sure that a clear separation between us and them. So you got lambs and sheep, and you got wolves in sheep clothing. You want to be clear. Because you can't tell. You're looking at them, you can't tell the difference. So you want to come with something that make a clear separation. Because you don't want to hurt the sheep. That's why it says to Elijah, do not try to separate because you might hurt the sheep too. So you want a clear distinction. And this is a clear distinction because there's nowhere in the world you be following that dog right there about Scripture, if you by Elijah. And if you're by Elijah, really by Elijah, there's nowhere in the world you sitting around talking about, oh, you be looking for the messenger of the covenant because it said that's what you be looking for because that should be seeking. It tells you the instructions are very clear. Very clear. And the messenger of the covenant was someone that was there with Elijah. We came to Elijah's temple. And he's the one that would fulfill a covenant because Elijah prepared the way for him. He would fulfill a covenant. He was preaching a covenant. And if you go and see identity person, if you read Exodus, it tells you his name will be Joshua, which is the same name as Jesus. Jesus' made-up name. The actual name is Joshua, the Messiah. This is very clear stuff, brothers and sisters. This is not anything you have to have a PhD for or need an AI computer. All you have to do is follow the simple truth of that. So they'll have no excuse, as the Christ said, they'll have no excuse whatsoever because nobody's going to listen to it anyway. No excuse whatsoever because it's so simple. Elijah Muhammad said truth be made so clear, so simple, even a fool can err. So that means if they err, that means they're fools or angels or devils. But that's simple. Nobody asks you to go in there and study anything. Just sit right there. Just follow Exodus. Just follow the simple what Exodus says. The God will come. He will come. He will raise a messenger. The messenger will ask, but a spokesman of the God said, no, you don't need him. God was against it. But he gave many, his sister gave it to him. And that spokesman turned out to be bad news, just like the God said, because it's Aaron, he took and he destroyed the nation, turned it backwards, right? And it says right there, it says right in there, he says, the God says, hey, Moses, get down there, because they're turning away quickly from the teachings. And that's exactly what happened. I was there. So Elijah Muhammad departed in 75, right? They announced it end of February 75. Before March, they was totally against Elijah Muhammad's teachings. This is the end of February, and by March, before March, they said quickly. I was there. I was lucky I'm in jail for homicide because I wanted to kill some of these niggas. The way they was turning against the messenger, calling the messenger names they carried on, and Wallace openly turned against the messenger. Openly. He never hid it. He never hid while the messenger was present. Openly. The Farrakhan was right there with him. Oh, Master Muhammad was a trickster, and Elijah Muhammad wasn't a messenger. Prophet Muhammad's the last one. This is what was happening. I had all I could do, cut some throats. I had a brother-in-law at the time. He was a minister in Indianapolis. He was a minister of Elijah Muhammad in Indianapolis. He's like, hey, man, I went for medicine. I wouldn't have all these children. So I said, man, my brother-in-law, man, I want to cut his throat. I wouldn't have. I said, listen, he's a minister. So he said, what the hell? How is this? But it says right Exodus, they quickly turned away from the way. This is very simple stuff, brothers and sisters. But I've been tasked to keep bring this up, because that's part of the problem. Had to make sure that when time came, the chaff was separated from the wheat, and then the goats separated from the sheep. So who are the goats? Well, they like the sheep, right? So they must be original too. So we got some of them around because they put one on the left hand and one on the right hand. See, all this stuff adds up. Because some make it hereafter, but some never tell everlasting life, everlasting shame and atonement. See? They make it. They're original enough to make it. But, they end up on the wrong side of things. This stuff is so simple, brothers and sisters. And so some of the goats, their problem was is they couldn't overcome the gravitational vortex. They just couldn't do it. Why couldn't do it? They had the ability. They was distracted, like it says. It says about the parable about the wheat and the chaff. They just got sidetracked by this world's life. They wanted both the energy into the next world. They voted. I mean, it's the winter time, man. I gotta build me an ice capsule, man. I got it. So instead of preparing for the spring, but when the spring comes, all that energy you invest in the winter is wasted. All that stuff just disappears, and then you have nothing because you didn't invest in the spring. That's why Suleiman was an example. He expressed in the spring. He invested in the spring. That's why he break the seals. That's part of the reason. Because he puts all the energy in the spring. So therefore, he didn't have anything in the winter. Say, well, hey, some people say, well, you're doing pretty good. Am I? What you're seeing is I have control of my basic energy. I need to maintain myself. I'm not driving around a Lamborghini, living in a mansion. As I was at one time. So I gave all that up to get this message. And that's an investment. Because I'm investing that information, I'm investing my energy. The information I'm giving you is not something came out of a cloud somewhere. That's my energy I'm giving to you. I take my energy, I use the energy to unlock the angel. That's the quality of my energy. And I'm giving it to you freely. So it's like I got money, I'm investing money in you. That's the God. So I'm investing in you. There could be a consequence to that. But it'd be a consequence in two ways. Because for some people, they're taking it and not doing anything with it. So it's a negative consequence for them. Doing something with it, it's a consequence for them. Because they become part of the body. Right? You exercise, you build muscle, right? So I'm doing this, right? That's why it says, preach the four winds. It was his energy that brought the nation together, brought the body together. Like I said, he's like the brain cell. Because, a sperm starts out as a brain cell, and then it keeps growing, developing, then eventually the whole body gets developed. But it starts out with a brain cell. So he's built, he's taking it, like I try to give an example, like Son of Man is like a person, right? It's like a man that's, an individual that's what they call it, when you're in, you can't move around anything, right? In the bed. Give me, bro. I'm 76. I can't remember anything anymore. It's not like, man, I'm telling you, that kind of bugs me. Why you pick somebody 77 to do his job, right? But the person's Where they can't move. They're alive, they can't move. And the brain cells trying to get them to move, right? But it takes energy to get them to move. So the energy it has to put in that body. Keep putting that energy it has in that body. Keep sending signals, keep sending signals, keep sending signals until you finally get that bowel to move. See? Understand? So he has the best of energy in that body. Eventually the body comes together. That's why it says, who brings the body together? Not Master Prophet Muhammad. It says, Son of Man prophesies to the four winds. They keep telling Master Muhammad, Son of Man, which they give you the description. I mean, what do they have to do? They tell you that Son of Man have woolly hair and dark skin. They invest in energy. Now, if something doesn't move, it must be a cancer cell, or right? Anyway, it has to be eliminated. You understand? I mean, I try to make it as simple as possible. So I'm investing, and eventually, for that, the Son of Man, right? He's investing his energy. That's what Lamb does. That's the energy to get that finally get that body, raise that body. He raised him from dead. How do you think he raised him from the dead? He was able to raise it from dead because he invested energy. So like Elijah Muhammad was able to raise it to one level because Elijah Muhammad invested energy in it. He didn't go around and put that money in his pocket like Farrakhan did. Farrakhan didn't invest in anything. He took the money he got from you all and put it in his pocket. So he didn't invest. He invested in his bank account. That's why he got cancer. Consequence. But he says God controls everything and nothing happens without God's will. That means God willed him to have cancer. Why would God will him to have cancer? I mean, you're going to will your primary minister, your main minister cancer, then what? What's your enemy scared of? Hell, I mean, what's the difference? I get the same thing they get. I'm your minister. I get cancer, just same things that your enemy scared. Them shitting and pissing in the bag for the rest of my life? And I'm your top minister? What's the difference? Why should I go through all that? Why don't I be out there and be your enemy? Hell, I'm get the same damn thing they get. No. It says to the Son of Man, he said, you don't have to worry about a goddamn thing. So I got you. So no one will stand before you, and I will not forsake you. Do you think when they blew Farrakhan's there, some of those raging powers, you think he was forsaken? Did God was protecting him? Did that was God's protection? This stuff is very simple, brothers and sisters. Very simple. Anyway, but you notice he said, right? Our nation. See, he's supposed to, I told you, he's not representing the nation of Islam. Islam is a devil. You can prove that. Anyway, the point is we're going to get into that, right? That this is all about, and if you're deceived by it, fine. We're not trying to save you. We need to get information, save yourself. God didn't save Noah. He gave Noah information to save himself. He didn't save Lot, and he gave him information to save himself. And we get ready to blow this place up, man. You better get the hell out of there. If God was like you claim he is, he would just lift them up. Or put a seal around them or something. No, he would say, hey, man, don't worry about it. I got you. You stay in my hand while the flood. No, but you see, you got that BS that these Christians give you, and giving you to keep you, make you a eunuch. That's what it is, because here, a mental eunuch. That's what Christianity does for you. Because when you're finished with that stuff, you won't do anything. You sit there and say, oh, Jesus, help me. I said, get up off here and do something for yourself. That's why a lot of Muhammad said, get up and do something for yourself. Christianity is designed to neuter you, castrate you mentally. That's what it's designed for. You see, this is just believe in Jesus. And that's what Farrakhan telling you. All this stuff is going on right now. Oh, just believe in me. Really? It's more on brothers and sisters. But like I said, it's an investment. I'm invested 35 years directly. Because remember, this is my energy I'm giving. I'm more than 100%. So you get my energy from me on my wavelength frequency. See? That means if you respond, you're going to respond one way or the other. If it's just same wavelength frequency, that's going to draw you to me. Unless you're just dead, you may refuse to move. And if you otherwise, it could be opposing wavelength frequency. That means it's going to push you away. If it's opposing, that's the frequency and wavelength different. That's opposing each other, right? You got to push them away. But those has. So the only difference is do you respond? You may be on the same wavelength frequency, but you're dead. You're clinging to the earth. See? You can't escape the gravitational vortex. I tell people, learn mathematics, learn the science works, then you can see the stuff for yourself. So by me putting this out there, I'm investing all my energy into this body. Okay. Understand? So eventually, the body, if it takes so much energy to move the body, see, the body is there, it's just laying there. It takes energy to move things. You understand? So it takes, like it's got to eat, right? You don't eat. That's why you can't even move. It takes energy to move things. So it was, I'm putting energy out there. It's taking wavelength, certain frequency. You understand? What wavelength frequency has to be my nature. I can't give a wavelength frequency that's not my nature. That's why Farrakhan, he can't give that wavelength frequency. The people that's attracted him is people on his wavelength frequency. I don't want to. Don't interrupt that. People that attract him to his wavelength frequency, and people that's attracted will be attracted. This will be on a different wavelength frequency. Okay. And so, if you're on a higher wavelength frequency, you can descend to a lower one. But if you're on lower, you can't descend to a higher one. If I explain that when you get to calculus, derivatives, and integrals. So, if you're on a higher one, you can see one on a lower one. Now, when they're on the lower frequency, that's where you see things. Like if you're colorblind, well, you don't see certain colors. You don't miss the other colors. You don't see them. You don't even know they're there. So that's where you see things. People say that he's wrong. He makes mistakes. I don't know. I forget how it works, but I think you can't see red or something like that there. They say, hey, man, that's guy going through red lights. You don't think he do anything wrong. You don't see no red light. You don't see a red light. No, don't hold me on to that because I think it's red. That's a couple of colors they can't see. Right? So, you know what I'm saying? So the thing is that the people with Farrakhan, they probably don't think they're doing anything wrong. I'm talking about the ones that on his wavelength frequency. I ain't talking about the goats that's with him. They know it's wrong. They're lies and thieves they hold on this world's life. They're trying to make it here. So they lie. They know they're lying. But some of the people with him, they may not even know it. But then say they draw into him. Because the point is, you can't find any scripture that support what they're saying about him. So they attract to him because they're on the same, they feel him. So you feel me? Yeah, they feel him. You understand this, brothers and sisters. That's what I was trying to think of. I'm going to pause and I'm thinking comatose. It took me a while to get that one, boy. I tell you. I still ask myself, why didn't you pick somebody 30 years old to do this job? I mean, yeah, well, I started when I was young, but the hardest part, I don't know. Maybe the hardest part is right what I've been doing in this body, waking this body up. Because once the body gets up, man, we got once this body gets out of bed, I mean, getting out of bed, comatose, that right there is a monstrous feat. Then after that, if you get out of the coma, then you got to fight your way out the hospital. And you got to fight the whole damn world. I mean, damn. So is one harder than the other? I don't know. I don't know about that. I know it's there's going to be some battles. But activating this nation, it takes somebody that's dedicated 100%. That's what it takes. That's what's happening here. And so putting the information on this wavelength frequency, people that's on the same wave frequency, right? When it hits them, they're going to respond to it because they're on the same wave frequency they're on. Okay? But other thing is too, I don't know if I go on this. People operating on a lower wavelength frequency, low amplitude, but that's not their natural, because less energy, like I said. Man, here you are. You're a man, so you're a man, you're strong, right? But then you just starved, and now you're laying in the bed, weak, bony. I mean, yeah, you act that, but that's not who you really are. Once you get some energy, like, you put a plant that's wilting, and you give some light in the sun. So, you see what I'm saying? So you want a lower wavelength but you ain't moving around, right? See? You're not moving around because you don't have to have energy to do it. See? But your natural wavelength and frequency, right? You want a lower one because you have enough energy to maintain that. If you understand that. See? So that's part of my job, is not only communicate, but also energize you. Because that's energy. It's energy in that wavelength. So it's not only just people that's on the same wavelength frequency, but it's also energizing them. You got to get that body moving again. See? So there's two phases there. See? One's on the mind level. So it will take about 30-some years to get that body moving. See? That's what's happening here, brothers and sisters. So Fred Farrakhan, he's on a different wavelength frequency. He can't understand this. He knows it was a problem because it says in Legion and Mark, he knew who Son of Man was. He knew he was superior. He started begging him, please. He knew he was subordinate because he has permission from the Son of Man. Please don't make me leave the country. Please stop tormenting. See? Because he knew he was subordinate to him. But he recognized him. Why he recognized him? Because he felt, remember I said it's two opposing forces? I should move on, bro, sis. But, I keep saying, this stuff is, maybe, I don't know. But I just, see, when you got the truth, right? Well, I got to be careful with that one. Because 40 years, the devils had what they was doing. That was the truth for that period. That was a winner. Understand? But no, if you're not trying to deceive people, and you telling it, and you being truthful with the knowledge you have, put that away, right? Everything falls into place. So I just said, right? I said when you have two different wavelength frequencies, they can align with each other, they oppose each other. So he's telling you that right there in that story. He says, stop tormenting me, because he was feeling it. That was bugging. That's why he knew who it was, because he was being tormented by him. And the torment was hurting him. So therefore, he knew the person was superior, because if you're being hurt, that the person that you've been hurt by is superior to you if they're hurting you. So if you were superior to them, you'd be hurting them. All this, stories, brothers and sisters, they're all there. That's what I tell people. if you take time and put energy, you'll see how beautiful this stuff is going to all come together. I mean, that right there just said, see, that story back to everything I just said about waves of frequency. That's how you recognize it. Stop tormenting me. You're more powerful than me because you're tormenting me. And so please ask, because you don't ask permission for somebody that's inferior to you. It's just we're trying to be nice or something. Okay? Anyway, let's move on, brothers and sisters. That's the whole thing. It's about to be. It need a little fire because it says he's totally dead. He said Elijah Muhammad raised him to one level, but they had no spirit. They wouldn't do anything with it. He gave them the knowledge of the God, and they wouldn't do anything with it. That's why it says they were raised, but they had no spirit. So he gave them the spirit. That last, because Elijah Muhammad wasn't supposed to, he was supposed to do something, prepare the way. So that means he did some of the work. If you prepared the way for somebody, that means you did some work, right? You took a certain level, so for them, so they can move. If you had to prepare the way for someone, that means you had to take and prepare. That's what the word says. You had to prepare the way, so you had to do some things, right? So this person don't have to start from scratch. They can start prepare the way, right? You like building an elevator, right? So okay, now they don't have to walk upstairs. They can take the elevator. Move on, brothers and sisters. I spent much more time than I intended to. But listen to this here. Now, he already said, a nation, America, he's supposed to represent the nation of Islam. It shows you. They call that a Freudian slip. But see, America is his nation. He's a skin folk. God's the devil. Like I said, he used the nation of Islam and Elijah Muhammad and Master Muhammad as bait, because if you can show me how that he's really representing Elijah Muhammad and Master Muhammad, I'll give you $5,000. And no one has yet, in all the years that I've been out there, no one has yet even sent me an email or anything. All you gotta do is text me the verse. I said, just text me the verse that shows that he's representing. Just text, and they haven't done it. They don't. Why would you do it? If they put it out for me, I'd be on a heartbeat. Not that I need $5. Well, not that I'm trying to get the $5,000, but they put that charge out there for me. I said, yeah, here it is. It's the verse. Everybody know. They would shut me up immediately if they could just produce. All these years they hate I'm here. They send me all kinds of nasty grams of stuff. They talk about me in the background. But not one time has anybody sent me a text or a messenger or even anything. One verse, just one verse that proves that he's who your claim he is. But they can take time to call me names, say I'm jealous of Farrakhan. Why can't you take time? It should be easy because that's what you claim he's doing. They haven't done it because they can't do it. Just one verse. You claim he's all. Show me one verse in the Bible. The Quran's the book. Show me the Quran. In fact, the Quran is even worse for him. Because every time he mentioned the Quran, it's bad news. Because Moses came back and wanted to kick his ass, grab by the beard. Now, see, all this was he was talking about how much he loved. He wanted. That's totally against Elijah Muhammad's message and my Muhammad's message. He wants to save America. Muhammad said it cannot be redeemed. Cannot be. It's 100% wicked. 100% had to be moved off the planet. And Elijah Muhammad said similar. I mean, he represents Master Muhammad, but he says no. He wants to save him. He wants nothing to happen to him. Every prophet and messenger, in every scripture talks about the destruction of this evil system and these devils. Every one. But no, he's different. The God talks about it. Elijah talks about it. Every messenger prophet, every scripture, even the Zoroaster scriptures. But no. So why is he so different? I guess Master Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad, he sat down, listen to him. Come on, brothers and sisters. Now let's see how this way he talks about how much he loved America, his nation. Didn't want anything happen to him. Let's see how he feels about you, who's been living off of. Again, here, see, this is daddy. Let's see the resemblance. Come on. This is not a photo. Go in there. This got the picture on Google. His father, Percival Clark. You see the resemblance? That's his daddy. He's a devil. They would tell you he's Caucasian. He's not no, come on, light-skinned Jamaican. But Jamaican is not your ethnicity. It's your nationality. It's like Americans, our nationality, because we live here. That's not ethnicity. He got all kinds of stories. Look at it. That's his daddy. So, I mean, he's not seed Abraham. And he couldn't possibly be the Messiah, because the Messiah would come down to the line of David. To seed Abraham. He's not seed Abraham. Yeah, everything you apply to him comes up shit. Period. That's a daddy right there. Percival Clark. That means if his father's a devil, so is he. We're trying to it doesn't matter because God makes in the womb. And you buy that? So biology doesn't matter? You see God in the microscope waving back up, say, I got this? If that's the case, they say, well, God's a man. Well, if he's a man, that means who made man from it then? And if he's a man, that means, and God's a man like they say, right? Which God is. But the way if he's as all that means he's the one that's so he's sleeping with all these women on all the planet. Sleeping with animals too, because he's making a womb. But if he ain't, that means the mystery God is doing it. So you can have it both ways. Either the mystery God is doing it or Matt Thomas doing it. Matt Thomas doing it. That means he's very busy impregnating all these women. Okay? And plus he must get tired. That's why you got Siamese twins and people born with handicaps and stuff and blind. It's like he got tired, took a break. That's how it works. Somebody born with one body and two heads. That was get me on that one. Go where you got two heads, right? One say, I'm gonna be a Muslim, I'm gonna be a Christian. Say one of them is right. That means the other one's wrong, right? So in other words, you say, well, I'm gonna put all the Christians in hell. So what you gonna do? How you gonna handle that situation? How you handle that situation? Okay. The head commits the Muslim around you. Okay, you're going to paradise. Well, yeah, but you only got one body. How you going to handle that one? This is so stupid. You put an orange seed in the ground, you're an orange, you're not going to apple. You already see your father, period. God makes it on the womb. That's 1,500 year old Sunni Islam stuff because they didn't understand that kind of stuff back then when the Quran was revealed. They ain't about microscopes, DNA. So they tell them the way they can understand it. See? God makes the womb, that's mathematics. The mathematics of it is DNA, period. Ain't no God down the way back saying, I got this. It always gets me with this dumb Christian shit. Oh, well, man, I was driving down there, man, accident. Jesus saved me. Saved me from, man, I had a big accident, man. He saved me. All I got was a broken leg. Well, if Jesus was looking, he then why you had an accident to begin with? It's just dumb shit. If you want to buy that shit, then go with it. They give you a brain to calculate, they tell you don't calculate with it. But then they're going to condemn you for not calculating with it. You ain't asked to be, I ain't asked to be here. You ain't asked to be here. Okay, you come here. Nobody asked, I ain't asked to come here. You get it, then all of a sudden, hey, it's the first day found. If you don't do the right thing, right, you're going to hell. Now, what if you're born in China? What if you're born in India? What if you're born in Sudan someplace, right? Well, each one's a different way, isn't it? All of them ain't going to heaven, are they? So now you didn't have to be born there. So now you got to figure this shit out. But you can't use life. You can't think, though. Because everyone tell you can't think about it. You got to have faith. All of them, you got to have faith. You can't think about it. You got to have faith. Okay, well, if one is wrong, one is right, all the rest of them are wrong. They all tell you how to don't think about it. Okay? See all the bullshit? And now, here you are. You come to the world. You didn't ask to be here. First thing you get to man, you're going to die. And you're going to hell. What the hell has to come to begin with? If you don't figure this shit out. And then you put it in the middle of confusion. In the middle of confusion, don't tell me the facts are. And they're going to kick my ass because I don't figure it out. Fuck that shit. You know, and they put that shit, that's these Christians with that bullshit, put that shit in your brain. That's why they lock your brain up with that. Because you freeze you. You know, it happened to me when I was a child. And the way it worked for me. Because I said, man, my mother was downright Christian, right? My father, he was like, I don't know about this, right? Because he was converted before he passed. But she passed young in her early 20s, right? And I'm hearing about this hell forever and ever and ever, man. That shook me. I said, damn, I don't want to be doing that. I looked around and said, well, how do I know it the right way? And I said, if I don't get it exactly right, I'm going to be in eternal hell for it. That really got to me. Man, I really got this, shook me. I started asking questions. They kept throwing me out of Sunday school. I started trying, and that got me on the road trying to figure out what's going on, and reading about it, come upon Elijah, and then stuff started making some sense. Yeah, that shook me. I told a woman a long time. I had my contracting business and a contract in Indiana. And this sister there, young sister, she gonna drop that Christianity stuff for me. I said, hey, hold on, sister. No, well, man, that's all right. I said, you're telling these little kids that stuff, man. You're just doing their minds a little innocent mind like that. You put some eternal hell and stuff on, I don't do that. I said, you goddamn wrong. Like you do that, because they did to me. You scared the hell out of them. They ain't asked for this shit. They asked to come here. As soon as they get here, you want to scare the hell out of them? It's bullshit. Don't get me started, bro. So let's move on. That's why people pay a hell of a price. They don't understand what's about to happen here, brothers and sisters. If you ain't got it right, you should be talking. You open your mouth and say a goddamn thing. If you ain't got it right, you better read. You talking about Prophet Muhammad? Read what he said. He didn't think he could make it through the judgment. Read Hadith. Nobody's fucking around here. We tired of this shit, this crazy shit, mess your mind up, putting fear in you. Because if there wasn't any, if you took the fear out of Christianity, there wouldn't be one Christian in the world. They hold you by fear. It's the worst of all the religions. Some are bad, but it's the worst. Because the only way they hold you is by fear. Fear of going to hell forever and ever without end. Because you didn't get it right, because you didn't recognize Jesus, you made a little mistake. You're going to be in eternal damnation without end. If that's the way God is, we all fucked up, ain't we? And we're in trouble. I created something. It's flawed. If we make a mistake, it's my creation. I'm going to punish it forever because it's fucked up. And I'm the one that made it. So if I made something that's messed up, I'm going to blame it for being messed up? And that shit make sense to you? Well, you keep on with it. I tell you, until I figured this stuff out, I was in hell. I was in mental hell for years. Until I ran into Elijah. He took me out of it, but not totally out. I was in mental hell until I met Elijah in my 20s. In mental hell. Trying to figure out what I need to do to keep him going to hell forever and ever and ever. But that bothered me. He got me out part of it, but not all of it. Then I got the angel. Angel cleared my mind, freed me, all that shit. And now I'm broadcasting. I ran to a gold mine. And now I'm sharing the gold. I'm investing the gold in you. You accept or reject, it's up to you. Let's see here.
When the Muslims were alive, I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you dead as hell now on both sides.
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. That's real, brother.
Both sides.
Wake us up, dear Apostle.
When we was alive, we set up schools.
That's right.
When we were alive, we had supermarkets.
That's right.
We owned buildings. We owned farmland. We were busy doing something, hiring our people. Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
Brothers and sisters, now, he got so much love for the devils that torment our people, terrorize our people, rape, beat, murder our people, torture our people, terrorize people. Hundreds of years, he got much love for them. He don't want to see anything happen to them. He want to excuse all that. For you, they ain't put enough members. Who he's living off of? The Nation of Islam. That ain't his nation, right? They don't want to put steaks on his plate, put $1,000 suits on his back, $10,000 rings on his fingers, mansions. They want to support all that. Male and female, both sides. But for you, fuck y'all. You ain't doing enough. I'm going to pray a lot of worms eat your ass. But for the devils doing all this stuff to us, no judging for them. But for you, just because you ain't doing enough for him, remember, they ain't doing nothing for us. They torture us, torment us. But for you, because you ain't doing enough, you done good for him. Look how good he's doing. What he's doing. He got that off of you. It's enough for you. But that ain't enough. So you have to play a lot. Worms eat your ass. Never mind the fact that when Muslim was alive, him and Wallace killed the nation. I'm not going into that detail. I explained it over and over again. They the ones killed. I was there. Witness. On top of that, yeah, they did have those things. Elijah Muhammad invested in the nation. The money we took and worked and gave to him, he took the money and invested back in the nation. Build homes, build businesses, build banks, farmland, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when he left, all the money that he had was in the nation's name. That's why his family got angry, because they figured they figured he's going to leave money to them. He did. He left it to the Nation of Islam. So they got angry about it. Wallace hated him. Wallace hated him all the time. Why Wallace hated him from the get-go? He didn't do. Why got him was a president. So that's no mystery there. I know because I met Wallace. I was there from 1775. You understand? So we lost everything because they killed the nation. They took the money and ran. You understand? That's what exactly happened. Tell me the line, Farrakhan. So they killed the nation when it was live, and then he hasn't built. Instead of the money they give him, he hasn't invested in the nation. He put it in his pocket. That's why he's cursed with a curse, because he robbed nations, like it says in Malachi. He hasn't produced a goddamn thing. But him and his son, multi-millionaires. Move on, brothers and sisters.
$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Hey, brothers and sisters, again, no one's ever stepped forward to claim that. There's one verse. One verse, the Bible command. You can't produce it, but it doesn't exist. That's what I'm making. Move on. That's the covenant who they never talk about, ever. Okay. We're going to talk about war in heaven that's happening right now before your eyes, brothers and sisters. That is what we'll be focusing on the next, until it eventually happens. But it's happening now. I'm going to talk from a different perspective. See here? The war occurred in heaven, Middle East. Michael was masked by Muhammad and angel him to war with the dragon. And dragon angel, they war. But read it carefully. Michael goes to war with them and they retaliate. Now, if we read the fifth seal, that verifies that. I'm not going into details about that. They was talking to their 12th man. When are you going to avenge us? I'm going to wait till your fellow brother who is Syria goes down, then I'm going to make my move. About to happen, brothers and sisters. We're going to talk about it in more detail. And during that time is war. And I remember in Exodus, all stuff fits in. In Exodus, talks about this Moses returned, took down Aaron, all this nonsense back. A war was going on. That's this war I'm talking about. So you see that in 10th verse here where it says, her voice of heaven saying, right now become the salvation and the power of the kingdom of the God of us and authority of the Christ of him, which is the Messiah of him, because was thrown down the accuser of the brethren of us, accusing them night and day. That's Farrakhan. A little wicked, simple. That Farrakhan accusing us. That's what Aaron did, right? Remote return. Hey, it's their fault. You know how wicked they are. People accuse them. On top of that, he talked about the Abrahamic covenant, but he don't talk about the covenant part. He talked about 40 years of hell and affliction and everything else. But the way he characterized it is, we've been punished. It wasn't a sacrifice we was making. We wasn't submitting to Allah's will by submitting to Adam. We suffered that because we were sinful. We suffered 400 years of hell because we were sinful. Not because of sacrifice. Not because we was obeying Allah's will, because we were sinful, wicked. That's his explanation. But therefore, we don't deserve, that's why we're not going anywhere, because you don't get a reward for being wicked. You don't get a reward for being punished. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. So he's about to be cast down. And again, do the math. If the war would start, what you did, the attack will start, and then there'll be a pause. Sounds heaven for about half an hour, which is approximately 6 months, because hour represents in Injil a year. So around the 7 months, it could be less or more, but it's about, that's why it says about, so it's not exactly 6 months. So around the 7 months. And so if you take that from June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, I mean, I said right? July, August, September, October, November, December. Right? That puts somewhere between January and February. It stands for weeks. Right? Somebody sounds heaven for years. Anybody that's been around for years know I've been mentioning this for years. So there it is. So that means the war started, and this started a few weeks ago. And it's still going on. It's just the only thing, they threw the first punch and Iran blocked it. So now they come to follow up. And that could happen any day now. Anyway, it's going to happen. And the thing is that I have to be careful about what I say, because like I said, they'll react. But you may not be paying attention to this, but they are. But see, the bottom line is that they might react, try to delay or try to distort it. But when you understand pressure, they cannot stop it. But this is a result of them being crushed. See? So like an egg, you drop an egg from a 10-story building, it can flip, it can turn around, it can do everything it wants to. It's not going to, it can do anything it wants to flip, it can, right? But it's going to, when it hits the ground, it's going to crash. It's just a matter of time. That's what their case is. They can run or do all, whatever they want to do. It's like a man's about to die. He can pray, he can jump, he can take X-lax, or he can take 5-hour energy or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's dead. It's time to die. If you understand that, let's move on, brothers and sisters. So that's where we are right now. And even the devils are saying it. And this tells you right here that, like I said before, I'm saying distinctly now because that's where we are. God left it open, right? But you understand the pressure side of it? Nothing they can do to prevent it. They can play games, do all it, whatever. They can't avoid being crushed. If that egg is falling, there's nothing the egg can do to keep from crashing when it hit the ground. See? So the thing is, it's telling you, right, that Iran is going to preemptive attack. They're not sitting around like Saddam Hussein did, where they build their force and coming and closing on them. No, they're going to attack. That's what it says. It says, a war broke out in heaven, which it did, and then got phase 1, then phase 2. Michael's angels go to war. Means and they're dragging them to try to, they fought back. That's about to happen, brothers and sisters. any hour now, maybe probably any day now, what's happening is you'll see. Well, we'll see one way or the other, won't we? Move on, brothers and sisters. Okay. Let me speak to this because this stuff is very simple, brothers and sisters. Maker, owner, creator, planet Earth, God, universe. That's what you got to understand what's at stake here. If we God, maker, owner, creator, planet Earth, God, universe, I mean, the whole earth and everything in it, above it, belongs to us. We made it. But we have nothing. And we look across and everything that would have, these have it. They have control of us as a nation. Those, because they have identity. It's my have brother, got land, territories, not just Arabia, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, so forth, right? And they got the economy, China and India. And then Farrakhan has he snuffed our vision because he says we ain't going nowhere because that was the vision. The vision was our return home. That was the hope. That's why people rallied around Elijah because we was told, even Malcolm, even Martin Luther King, remember they killed him after he gave that promised land speech. That's the vision. Return home after 40 years. That's the covenant. But he said we ain't going anywhere. So he snuffed out that vision. Not only that, but he also has our image. See, identity, image, different things. I can walk around and say, then I'm you. That's identity. If I sit around here and dress up like you and tell everybody and act like okay, that's different. Because they don't dress up like us. They don't call our names. They say, hey, we're the Jews. See? They ain't trying to look like us or anything like that. They're saying, but on the other case, that's demons. They're part of that too, because they're saying, okay, they present an image. They say as us, and that's what demon. If you have wolves in sheep clothing, right? Then the wolves are pretending to be the sheep, but they're acting like wolves. So you say, well, damn, look at how the sheep acting. They're acting strange, but they got an image. So people think that's where we are because that's where they're acting. They used to use blackface when they was back in the 20s, where a devil put on a black face, and then they say that's where niggas act. He was mocking us. Al Joseph was one of the biggest ones. He was a Jew, and look him up, Al Joseph. He made millions of dollars, right, with blackface, Miami, and all that kind of stuff, giving black folks a humiliating image. Then they come along with Stephen Fletcher. See, they didn't need black folks and blackface anymore. They had people like Stephen Fletcher and so forth. That was the real deal. It was the real wolves in sheep clothing. See? So, if you look, oh man, they call him lightning because he was so slow. Oh, Master, how you doing, Master? You know, and he walked real slow. I said he walked by a graveyard, got some had a loud sound, scared him. Then he was like lightning. He moved like lightning. You know, I don't know any black folks act like that. Not real black, not original people. I don't act like that. So now they got a whole cast of them. Yeah. Snipes, Denzel. See what I'm saying? With Hart, Kevin Hart. See? I don't act like them. You don't see an image of, I don't care what people, but anyway, I act like an original person. I'm an original person. I don't act like them. I don't know any original people act like that. You don't see an original person in the news or on TV, or you don't see them. What you see is the stereotypes they give you of them. And so you look at their hoes, their pimps, the drug dealers and everything else, and you think that's where we are. That's not the way we are. That's where I am. I don't see myself in them people. That's the way they cast us. See, that's me, they got an image. Farrakhan too. They got an image. Scientology, all this bullshit. That's not us. That's them. Yeah, kissing devils and everything else. I'm gonna kiss no devil. I've been married several times, right? That's not good. Right? I've taken did my thing when I was younger before and I ain't never slept with no devil ever. Even then, when I was totally ignorant. I don't know. I don't see myself in them people. See? You never really met a real original person. Only original person I ever met when I met Elijah Muhammad. Oh, because before that, I could understand how these people act. But they act different than I did. They act different than I did. I didn't see myself in these people. And the people and the blacks I knew, I didn't see myself in them. Because they was always trying to act like they saw the people on the movies. Like Bill Cosby and all those people, I didn't see myself in them. They were trying to be like them. Because our children, they see them, and they think that's how we're supposed to be. That's how you influence our children. Our children look on TV and they say, oh, and that's the image. They think, try to follow that, try to be cool, strict. Those images, and that's not them. But they don't see an image of what a real original person looks like. Man, so Elijah, they got a glimpse. They started changing. And they had snuffed that out. Then they got him like Farrakhan. This bullshit. Kissing on devils and carrying on. So he got an image. You understand? They got identity, they got image. So you got all these movie stars. That's not us. They're not putting any up there. What's that guy playing Fast and Furious? He like a clown. That's not us. Not original people. Okay? But you don't know what the original people look like because they're never going to put that on TV. They made a mistake when they put Malcolm on. They never made that mistake again. They got rid of him, got out of there. But he was telling them like it is when he was with Elijah. They got him out of there, and you don't see anybody like him on TV anymore. In fact, they make all these movies now with Snipes on them. They make movies. They either in love with some devil or they married the devil, whatever. That's the problem. So we have to overcome all of that. They're not going to give it up. All that belongs to us. We take our image back, take our identity back, energy back, our nation. We take our vision back, take our land back. We want to take all of that back. Let's go. It's a war. That's why I'm trying to show you what we're up against. Those of you that are original, that's why it's going to be the apocalypse. It's such a great war because they're going to fight everything they can have. They're going to throw at us to stop us from taking back what belongs to us. It's all ours. You understand? No Jesus, no God, nobody else going to take away the wine. If you read Exodus, God told Joshua, okay, he gave him transportation there. He said, okay, now you go take it. He told Joshua, okay, you go and take it. There's the land, now go take it. Okay, we get to the main subject, brothers. It took me a while to get here. So I keep this short, and I guess I'm a big liar on that. Okay. I can't keep my word on that one. So much to talk about, brothers and sisters, so much. And it's low time, because I will not be here with you in tribulation. I thought about that. I'm not going to be here with you. That's your last chance to get together. Very last chance. And I'm going to say one last thing. It's not an emotional thing here, brothers and sisters. I thought about this. I really thought about it. I so many things I think about. So I said, let me think about followers and stuff like that, right? So it started Job and started Joshua and, story of Jonah, right? It's interesting, right? Joshua, Jonah, Job. Why do they always start with a J? Jesus? Why do they always start with a J? That's interesting, isn't it? Maybe I'll talk about that sometime, right? But anyway, Jonah, Joshua, Jesus, Job. Another one? Jesus, that's no throw together, right? At any rate, it says the Son of Man is the judge. It said you had to be in his book of life to make it through. So that means he's a judge because he either put your name in or don't. Nobody's making him do it. He has to do it. It's in his book of life. He's a judge. It says he'd be tried to make sure he's a correct judge. That the judge is justice. So everything be done in justice, not based on emotionalism. And they show you that because Jonah lost all his children. I mean, Job. He could have saved them. He could have said, okay, no, I forgive you. No. It was all lost. Because they ran afoul of they didn't qualify, put that away. They didn't qualify. So they was lost. So you can't say, oh, well, I'm going to save my children. I'm going to judge you against yours. It can't be that way. It says the judgment will be just. It tells you, Quran says that in the Bible. So he's tested to make sure he's not dealing on an emotional level. Well, it's just, let me finish. Not emotional. It can't be emotional judgment. So therefore, I had a question about some people that have been associated with me, good people. Develop emotional attachment, which I normally don't do. I don't do that. I develop emotional attachment, but then they're not qualifying. So I can't say, okay, oh, well, I like you, good people, and you're not qualifying, and say, and I can't do that. I hope that's not the case. I think it's a trial. I keep looking at this. Why keep looking? Why this situation? Because why does it happen like this? I keep saying, I think it's a trial to me to see if I will let that emotional attachment override justice. Because you have to qualify. Period. You have to qualify. That's why you got to go to tribulation. You have to qualify. Angel is a qualification. I hope that's not the case, but that's what seems to be the case. But I know I've tried everything. I went out of my way. It says cut that tree down. I didn't do it. I keep trying this and trying to do this, try all kinds of things. Even though I didn't take that advice. The advice said, after 3 years, cut it down. And then I was like, well, put a little manure on it. I keep on, hesitating. So I think it's an emotional challenge. If it wasn't for my emotions, I would have cut that tree down a long time ago. Well, because that's in the past, bullshit come up, they out of there. I ain't think about it. But I developed emotional attachment, so I said, oh, no, well, I let myself be drawn in. People's families and children, like I shouldn't have did that. I don't know how it happened. Eased up on me. I think it's a trial. We'll see. Brothers and sisters, it'll be just. It won't be based on emotions. Judgment. Move on. Okay, let's get to the main subject here, but I got to check one thing real quick, brothers and sisters. Let me check this thing real quick here. And nothing here. Yes. Okay. Hold on here. Okay, I got a little technical issue here, brothers and sisters. I'm not sure why it's doing this. Why it's doing this? Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to live with it. I'm not sure why it's doing what it's doing. Hey, hold on, bro. So I got to check something because it's not acting quite right. Okay, brothers and sisters, the main subject here, we're going to talk about the birth of a nation. So right now, we're inside, we're inside the womb. See, this stuff really, when you're talking about Adam and Eve, and I'm not getting that, brothers and sisters. There's so much, all this plays in. They're actually telling that actual story. See? I'm not going that direction right now. I shouldn't even get a hint of it. Right to my stuff, Adam and Eve, right? It's also a story of Joseph and Mary. Okay? There's your different names. But anyway, let me move on. Anyway, we're well, see, so I tell these stories, explain these bonuses, it builds more beautiful that put the whole thing together. It takes a lot of time to do that. Because the story of Adam and Eve, you understand, Angel Key is also a story of Mary and Joseph. Okay? And America represents Mary. Mary, she said Mary was a virgin, right? Well, see, to Europeans, because Joseph represents Europeans, but America was a virgin land. And impregnated with us. Joseph, Europeans. I don't like to leave it half to tell the whole story clearly. It takes a while. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, that's the story. See? And so that's where the Christ will come from. The Messiah will come from, out of America. Okay. Anyway, they impregnated us. Right? Okay. So that's what's happening. That's what right now. She's about to give birth. America's about to give birth to us. Right? That's what, remember, Messiah's here, the Messiah's here, right? Of course, it bring the child alive, right? Anyway. But during the time of this, let me slow us back up, backs up. Yeah, going a little too fast here. That should have slowed us down. Thing is, this is happening right now. America's about to give birth. And the reason why they put false Israel up there, Israel was supposed to take our vision away, but we didn't know who we were, so we could never give birth. That was a way to abort us. Because remember, vision is bringing together. But they took the vision away and said, oh, false Israel is the true Israel. So that snatched the vision away from us. Right? You understand? Okay. So now, if false Israel goes, that means that attempt to fail, that means that we achieve the vision, that we come together. This is what I'm showing right here. Once false will goes, that means a false vision, then we realize, because that's they're telling us, that's a true vision. But if they go down, that means there was a false vision. That means Elijah Muhammad was a true vision. That means now we realize we're true to Abraham, we're true Israel, and then that causes us to come together, be born. Right? Because we come together, okay? Keep that in mind. That's what's happening here. I'm going a little fast, I'm going to let it go on. Well, maybe I shouldn't. Hold on, brothers and sisters. Maybe I shouldn't. No, I am. Move on. Watch this carefully. See, false Israel goes out, boom, then they attack us. They attack us. Because they don't want us to be born. Okay? Then we're born. But our birth, right, starts the process of their destruction. Okay? Reaction, opposite, equal reaction. So their resistance to us is the action. Opposite reaction. We come together means they come apart. Action reaction. Our birth is their destruction. Action reaction. See, that's why it says Babylon was destroyed in the day, or destruction came in the day, while our birth came in the day. And the nation was born in the day. Have you ever heard such a thing? What happens? Because it's an action reaction. Our birth, their destruction. Our destruction was their birth. Oh, you didn't know that one, did you? Our destruction was their birth. Because they brought us over here, and that made them come together. Because America, remember, we was here when America became America. Remember, at first, they brought us, it was first, the colonies. But when they brought us here, then it came, that was the birth of America, nation. Beginning of their birth and our destruction. Our destruction, their birth. America was born with our destruction, our labor, our enslavement. All this stuff comes together, brothers and sisters. So now the reverse is happening. Their birth came as our destruction. Now our birth has come as their destruction. Okay? Now we're born. Come together, see the great on, but America's coming apart. And then what? Then once we separated, afterbirth, put it that way. Right? Got to separate them. That's the demons. Because we all came together. Because they had both. Remember, they enslaved. They call them niggers too. They're slave masters' children, the demons, house niggers. It was all lumped in together. Once we separate birth, then we separate the afterbirth from us. The afterbirth. The demons. Okay. Demons, right? They as Christ says, all of them were believing that Christianity stuff before they die. So all the demons, they gonna hold like Christianity. See? They ain't gonna see Islam because their Christianity is on a certain wavelength of frequency that they're on. See, Christianity, their Christianity is a result of their. Remember, your mind. Remember, you have brain waves. So whatever brain frequency or waves you're on, that's the way you're going to think. That's the ideas you're going to have. That's the religion you're going to have. That's your ideas, your attitude towards how creation is. And that's, so Christianity, because the Bible doesn't, their Christianity is not really consistent with the Bible. Well, somewhat, the sealed Bible. Remember. But they have different forms of Christianity. The point I'm trying to make is that that's the wave, the idea is on the same wave frequency of the way they think. So therefore, they're gonna Farrakhan carefully, he's still believing that stuff. Well, you can't believe in Elijah, you can't believe in Matt because he's a man, you can't worship a man. He got him saying that, but he claiming God's a man. All of a sudden, remember to originate all this stuff. So they all think on that level. Scientology, no, Scientology is Christianity. Don't you see the symbol? It's a big symbol, a cross. It's Catholicism 2.0. So he got to slip in on you. He teaching you Christianity because that's the wave that he's on. The frequency he's on. You understand? So then, that's all mixed together. So now we separate. That's separation. Right? It's we've already, you see it right there in Exodus. When Moses came back, he separated all the sons of Levi from Aaron and his people. Those two different people. And then he had them go back and slaughter them. So there's a conflict between the two. Then they go back and try to take America. We're on the way trying to get the hell out of here. That same thing is so-called civil rights, right? They want to be closer to daddy. We want integration. We want to be more like you. We'll be accepted by you. Because that's them. That was Martin Luther King's message. Integration. And Elijah Muhammad said, get the hell out of here. We want no part of you. We ain't like you. Like cats and dogs. Cats said, we're getting out of here. The dogs, the ones that look like cats, but they're actually dogs. I want to be out here with, if you got wool, sheep clothing, the wolves will gravitate towards the wolves. They may look like lamb, but they're going to act like wolves. You say, well, why are you eating the lambs? I thought you was a lamb. See? Why are you attacking black people? Why you hate black people? Why are you raping black people? Why are you breaking black people's business? Why are you holding up black people? Why are you killing black people? Because they're demons. They're devils. They look like us. They're the ones doing that, the gangs and all that stuff. There's somebody caught up in that. But that's them. They're the ones causing havoc in our communities. That's why they got to be separated out. They're the ones killing our people and raping and break-ins and selling drugs and all that kind of stuff. That's them. That's them. But they get that stereotype. That Farrakhan, even that so-called man farce, right? See how they do? You can't understand that one. He had you admitting that that's who you are. Being a black man, telling the whole world, yeah, we dope dudes, we pimps, right? We fornicators, we're robbers, right? All that stuff, right? We're murderers. But hold up your hand and say, I won't do it anymore. That means you've been doing it. That ain't us. And that's right, he's the Holy One. And he got you telling the whole world that you were exactly the stereotypes they put in the movies about you. They got you admitting it. And you didn't pick up on that one. He got you admitting that you ain't no goddamn good. You know, but a bunch of pips, hoes, dogs. He got you admitting it. That ain't our people. That's them. They're people. And he got you admitting it. And then you say, that was a great thing. He got you, before the whole world got you saying you ain't number shit. You number scum. And Farrakhan's got to lift you up. Now tell me I'm lying. Tell me that's not exactly what it was. Got to give it the whole damn world. Whole world do say, yeah, see, the stereotypes that they said about us, he got you admitting that's true. He got you admitting that's true, yeah, but we're going to stop doing it. You want to tell me? Oh, okay. Anyway, so now they're in conflict with America. We had to get the hell out of here. Okay? That's the demons. That's so-called Logos War. So America's on fire. It's a race war going on now. This war that's going over the Middle East, once America and Britain is taken down, the false vision is destroyed. Also, we recognize who we are. We start coming together, right? That's what caused them to attack us. They attack all blacks. They ain't taking any choice. It's going to be a race war in America, a race war. Hey, very soon, we're talking about within weeks, it'll be a race war here. Because soon, false Israel is under siege and taking. Now, they can have you come together. That's the whole deal to keep you from coming together. So now it's going to be a race war. They're all blacks. And then that's when you're going to realize they're all devils. Because they're all going to be on it. So it's a double hit there. See? Because you're going to realize who you are. You're also going to realize who they are. Because once you realize who you are, then you realize who they are. Right now, you don't know who you are, so that's why you don't know who they are. Once you realize who you are, that's the opposite equal reaction. Once you realize who you are, you're going to realize who they are. If you're rich, they're the devils. It's going to be clear. Now, what you do with it, that's up to you. Do with that knowledge is up to you. Okay, let's move on. I mean, they're all that's Christians. And then, that's when the goat can move in. China, India. America's destabilized, economically broken, financially broken, in turmoil, race war going on. Civil war could be going on also, but primarily race war. Demons trying to take a master story of Samson. Samson was a demon. Race war. And so not talking about that. War Armageddon is going over in Europe. Over here. So China and India going to say, let's make our move. The goat represents the leopard. To the leopard. Remember the leopard morphs to the goat. Remember the leopard is brown with yellow spots. China and India. Okay. This is the only way. Well, the original nations trying to get the hell up out of here. Tribulation. And as they leave, they take out America. America. Who takes out America? Most of their American sisters. And then that's where they leave and they come to Arabia. See? The Sunnis got control of America. Excuse me. The Sunnis have control of Arabia. They clash with them. I'm giving you the brief overview. I'm not mentioning the elect and all that kind of stuff. Get overview, bro. Since get overview what's happening. Like we tell you what's happening before it happens. This is where we are right now in time. These events I'm telling you right now will take place this year. Events I'm telling you right now will take place this year. That's the clash. Right? We kick their ass out of Arabia. Take Arabia. Reward 40 years of suffering, unimaginable suffering. Okay. And then we'd be attacked by the goat again, China, India. Why? Because we have control of the Middle East. They have total dependency upon the oil from the Middle East. But now we have control of it. The economy is totally dependent upon it. So we have control, and we deny it to them. No. Okay. We've kicked America out. Forces under siege. Iran and Syria under Master Muhammad. We control the region. Control the whole region, but Arabia itself, it's ours. Covenant. Right? So they have, let me put it another way. The Red and Master Muhammad have control, but the people that still live there. Remember, this is the ruling classes broken and thrown out of there. But the ruling class, but the people still live there. They kicked them out. We kicked the ruling class, them out of the house of Saud. So therefore, now they're going to resist. The people live there, they're going to resist. The Arabs live there, they're going to resist our taking our land back. That's going to be a war there. So once we take it back and we have control of it, right, then we deny anybody. We control the oil and everything that China and India needs. Remember, they're powerhouses. They took down America, they took down Britain. They're world powers now. They're 10 horns that you see with the crowns in chapter 17. Where the horns, the crowns were shifted from the heads of the dragon to the horns of the dragon. The heads of the dragon represent European countries. So at the end of Armageddon, they've been just killing, wiping each other out. So now this shift to China, India. They're the powerhouses. They're the world powers. Africa's would be supporting them. They're the powerhouses. But the whole economies and power depends on being oil from the Middle East, which we deny them. So then they're going to attack us. So these 10 kings make war with the Lamb, overcome them. Not going to defeat them. We'll kick their ass out of there. And they won't be able. They won't come and try to take it. We'll kick their ass out of there. Kick their ass out of there. And that's when they're going to go to Nigeria, go to Africa, and try to get the oil from there. That's they're going to meet up with the Lucifer. He's the one that's going to destroy them. That's called the bear in Daniel. I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. I don't know if that matters to you or not. Make any sense to you? But this is what you're going to see this happen this year. Right now, as I spoke at the beginning, right? America's Iran, backed by Master Muhammad, is getting ready to make their move. And like I said yesterday, there's going to be a recognition of this 12th Imam. I mean, at some point, Master Muhammad, and that's got to be soon. It has happened already. He's going to appear in Iran, in Tehran, because his Michael and angels will be at war. He'll be with them. He's going to be able to neutralize their nuclear sites. I told you that yesterday. So they won't report that here. They say, oh, there's riots and stuff. There's some kind of whatever. No. When he appears, all he got to do is appear in one of the smaller ships. It's all over. There's not going to be any question. He's that 12th Imam. And he got his mother plane to back him up, big small ship. Ain't no question about it. All you got to do is appear to Tehran, right? He's at 12th Imam, it's all over. You hear loud shouts all over the Shia world. 12th Imam, 12th Imam, 12th Imam. Spirit's going to be so high, you can feel over here. The Shia going to rise. He got all that power behind him because he got Master Muhammad behind him. And that's where they're going to make their moves. Okay, let me say one other thing too, brothers and sisters. Now I keep talking about this energy burst. Now, I was hoping somebody kind of put 2 and 2 together, but nobody ever does, right? Okay. When are we going to realize that? It tells you when we're going to realize it. It tells you exactly when we're going to realize it. Because right now, our people, because they're on a lower wavelength and frequency, because they don't have enough energy. But when they get that enough energy, right, come together, see the great army. That's when they don't have enough energy. But then you have wave, she said wave bursts. I'll go along with that. I prefer wave, energy wave, but in that sense, in some sense, wave bursts. It's not wrong. I said, we have a system of spectrum, but then again, not really. I mean, it can be. Anyway, it works. In this case, it works. You get an energy burst. So maybe her usage is better than mine. When I think about it, I kind of like move over to that burst side. But I prefer to say energy wave, because actually, technically, it's an energy wave. Right? But it affects us as a burst. It comes all of a sudden. So you look at it from that point of view, energy wave doesn't give you a sense of the suddenness. So I get a sense she got a better idea than I did. When we add that to it, the suddenness of it, burst makes more sense. So in that sense, that's just a surprise because the only one that actually said a while back, she actually broke one of the verses. Because it surprised me, because I had never seen that before. Then just went out. So they're telling me she had the ability. I don't know what's going on. I think about it more, right? Because when you think about the whole thing, it says coming over sudden, the suddenness suggests burst, not wave. Right? So when we get that energy burst, right? That's what we need to come together, see the great army. That's when it's going to happen. That's when you see it. We'll realize it. So I'm putting things, making things tighter now because we're there. We're in there. We're there. Another 35 years, we're there. Everybody's on the edge right now. Oh, and let me say this last thing. You know, if you watch the so-called forecast today, they had no brothers there at all. I don't even want to call them brothers, no males. But they were there. Because then you see it popped up. See, why? How am I? This sister, nobody never seen her before. Nobody knows anything about her. And she don't know if she was talking about the book. Did she read the whole part of the book? You got to read. So, believe was revealed to thee and before thee. See, so somebody said, well, this so-called saved day is 4 weeks away. But they were there. So if they wasn't there, then they say, no, someone was there. So why they hide behind her? Because they don't know what's going on right now. And they're scared to speak up. They're scared to get up there because they don't want to speak to what's going on right now. Because they don't know how it's going to happen. Because the whole world's on the edge right now. The entire world's on the edge right now. What's going on in the Middle East. This whole focus is right there. And they don't know, have no idea. And so that's why they hide behind her skirt like a bunch of cowards over there. Hide behind her skirt. She don't know, I know who she is. Nobody heard of her before. Last week they had some more crackpot. He called himself the math doctor or something. He's the kind of guy to tell you 2 + 3 is 23. Stupid. He tried to blow me away. Well, energy is power is energy times velocity. No, motion times velocity. Force times velocity. That's what he said. Force times velocity. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to show that my math is wrong. See, he talking about energy. Power is energy times discipline. See, and no, he can't do it that way. So somebody say, no, power is force times velocity. It is. That's the mathematical definition of it from a mechanical point of view. See, but both are accurate. It's like weight and force. They're both the exact same thing. You just have different points of view. If you talk about when you talk about a person, when they walk on the floor, you call it weight. But it's force, still force. Exactly the same thing. They say, okay, how much weight he has. That's why the lessons talk about force and weight. When you put force in there, it says the science. I'm paraphrasing. This science, he split atom into 10 million parts. I think it's something like that, right? How much does crack atom weigh? See, they don't understand those lessons. So how much does it weigh? But you can say it this way: how much force does a cracked atom have? It's the same exact thing. It's like saying good and bueno. Exact same thing, just different languages. If you say it that way, then you talk about a nuclear explosion. Then you see it clearly what they're talking about there. But they don't know that. They were talking about a nuclear explosion before the devils knew anything about a nuclear explosion. That tells you the math. How many know what he's talking about? But that lesson was revealed in the 30s. They didn't have a nuclear explosion until the late 40s. They never even knew what a nuclear explosion was. See? So when you look at that lesson, it tells you, right, they never saw that. See? You understand? So he's going to come out, it's force times velocity. Okay. Where's discipline? I said discipline times energy. Where's energy? Energy is velocity. Velocity is motion. Where's discipline? It's force. Discipline is when you discipline something, you apply force to it. Same thing, just I'm putting it in human form. It's like you reap what you sow. Right? What's the other word? What's the other way to use it? You reap what you sow. It's the same thing as every action has opposite reaction, ain't it? It's just another scriptural way of saying it. You get back what you put in. So he coming at, so I squashed that. But anyway, they didn't show anybody. They had us kept there. So it ain't about so-called savior, preparing saviors, because otherwise, why they would sit up there? They're in trouble there. They're losing people, hundreds of people like crazy. And they sitting there waiting because they know what I'm saying is true. They know their ass is over. Because I already told them. Once this happens, that's the end of them. Most grievous chastisement. And when it says most grievous chastisement, brothers and sisters, that is not a joke. That means it won't be no swift thing. It'll be slow. They don't understand what they're dealing with. They create themselves consequence. People are starving. Why are they starving? Because they lack of knowledge. People are for lack of knowledge. They're out there going around crazy, doing all kinds of stuff. They're starving for knowledge. They're starving for energy because they don't know how to manage the energy. They don't understand, and they suffer. My people are still suffering a great deal because these clouds are exploiting them. Hey, I got the solution. Come on, I'm the son of Shem. Come over here, and they're taking money for it. Exploiting our people, taking money, like Farrakhan did. That's why I got the cancer. They take our money and everything else, taking money from these people and exploiting their suffering. So the chastisement will be previous. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna leave it there. Let me see. I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, brothers and sisters. I could go with this, but. Okay, let me say this quickly. I'll baptize with water. See, you're talking about two messengers. See, that shows you it's bullshit. If you look at Malachi, it says two messengers. They say, oh, Elijah, the last one. It says two messengers. The messenger who paid away for the messenger of the covenant. Two messengers. See, that shows you they're liars. See? So that right there, that has nothing to do with wave lift and frequency, because it's right there. That's just an outright lie. Because if you read that, maybe you're not even reading it. I said they're not reading the scripture because wherever God says that's good enough for them. I will baptize you with water, but he who come is married to me. So he said the one that's after Elijah was married to him, he says, Elijah said, I can't even behind his shoes, man. He's much more powerful than me. He's son of me. I'm just a messenger. But they say he's the everlasting leader of the nation of Islam. And all this stuff. Elijah Muhammad never said anything like that. He's the eternal Christ. And Elijah Muhammad never made those statements. So what does this mean? This angel key, I'm going to explain it and I'm going to go. See, this is what the angel key looks like. This is one form of it. See? So here it is, Elijah. He's teaching. This is the original nation here, but it's corrupted because they raped our women and everything. So now 1/3, half of our nation is corrupt. These house niggas, they look like us. By raping us and everything else, they just deformed our nation. So half of it is demons. They're children, they're slave mad children, blackface. Right? Okay? So Elijah Muhammad was told to preach to both of them. This is the chaff, the wheat and the chaff. This the wheat, this chaff over here. Just preach to both of them. Because you can't separate them. It says the enemy sowed his, remember it says the enemy sowed his seed. It's talking about people. That means if the enemy sowed his seed, how he sowed his seed, if he sowed his seed, it's men putting in seed in women. And they're talking about people. I mean, is that too difficult? It says that use the word seed. Enemy sowed his seed, right? And he's talking about the people here. That means he put his seed in our women. So that an evil man did it, an enemy. So that means he impregnated our women with his seed. So they got mixed up. And it says that Elijah don't know. You can't separate them. You got to son of man do it. You can't do it. So he got to preach to both of them, which he did. It says the true lover has to be the one that makes separation. So he's preached both of them. And so he's John, right? They said, I baptize you with water. So by him doing this, what happened? Okay? This is when the nation fell, so-called fell. So Farrakhan sitting in Elijah's seat. But the Nation of Islam is dead because this represents death down here. They're dead under Farrakhan. See, here's the demons here. Right? He's the chief demon. And that's why it says, chapter 19, God, chapter 19, sitting on the white horse. I explained that recently. But remember, these represent fire. He's here. So he says, he baptized you in water. That's what happened. When he left, he went up to God and was baptized with water. This represents death, but this represents the waters. This represents the sea. This represents the rivers. I'm not sure that here where the crowds are. Okay? And then, but he said, when Son of Man comes, he's going to represent with fire. See, remember these with fire here? That's the four winds are for fire. You hit your ass with fire. That's what's going to raise you up. That's what it means, bro. I'll just give you a short version. I'm going to destroy this microphone. It's still working. I'll leave it there, brothers and sisters. That's the angel. I'm not going to go into a detail about the angel key. Those familiar with it know what I'm talking about. And these are the vultures.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other?
These are vultures, brothers and sisters.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Okay, bro, it says the most grievous chastisement for these people. But they know what they're talking about. They haven't broken any seals, they're lying, they're exploiting the people, and they're house niggas. Like Farrakhan. Right? Living off us. And I say, you can't live off me, you can live off of them. Instead of living off. So now the most grievous chastisement, most grievous. That's the consequence. Somehow my background got messed up. The Farrakhan, his new smile neck got removed somehow. Anyway, most grievous chastisement, says, believe part of the book, disbelieve other. They don't mention the mention of the covenant. Right there in Malachi. They don't mention the covenants. Right there in Genesis, the covenant. We're going home first, so we ain't going anywhere. You know, second messenger, because it says, Elijah's the last one. It says right there, message of the covenant. And then the identity, it says, the torch went from Elijah to Joshua, passed over Aaron. But they don't mention Joshua, do they? You know what I'm saying? And they read those parts of the books they read. Malachi, Exodus, Genesis, those. Yeah. They be part of the book of the other. That's obvious. Move on, brothers and sisters. That's them. The days are numbered. But these things happen in 10 days I've been talking about today, brothers and sisters. Most be finished by the end of this year. But not everything. When we get home, that's another story altogether, because we got wars, we'll take our land back and take our economy back. Anyway, here we go, brothers and sisters. Leave it there, brothers. Assalamu alaikum.